Chelsea Football Club 2, Fulham FC 0. 3 points, top of the league. We move. And yes, we definitely have to move because that one was a tale of two halves. First half, diabolical, unorganized, all over the place, injuries, lack of a midfield balance, attackers not involved, last-ditch tackles, clearances, all of it, fighting for our lives in the first half. And then we got things right in the second half. Dominated the second half. Justifiable 2-0 scoreline. I don't want to hear anything. Miss me with that VAR ref nonsense. Two obvious calls. And yes, you could say it's harsh because it's not intentional, but when does it need to be intentional to be a foul? But we'll get into it. But smash those likes, folks. Hit that subscribe. Turn those notifications on. Help a brother out. Road to 100 subscribers soon come. But yeah, let's get into it. Lineup unchanged. Lineup versus West Ham. Two strikers, Delap, Pedro, Neto, Esteval, the wide players. Enzo, Caicedo in the middle. Gusto in at right back. Tosin, Chalaba, Cucurella, Sanchez. You know the team. And it was a semi decent start in the first few minutes. The space was there to be exploited over the top, and ultimately and unfortunately, that space that we exploited over the top that came through I think it was Cucurella's pass over the top to Delap, resulted in Delap pulling his hamstring. Post-match, post-game comments, news on Twitter is that he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And that just set off a whole different set of drama that we will save for a different video, because while one game was being played, shortly after, another game was being played and is still being played. But we'll get into that different time. This is just strictly speaking on Chelsea versus Fulham. And yeah, Delap goes off injured, hamstring, you could tell right away, grabbed it. Since we don't have a third striker, which we've talked about before, the need to, especially if we're going to be playing with this particular formation with Pedro in that deeper role, then we're going to need a third striker, because the person that we brought on today, Tyreek George, who filled in admirably, is not an out-and-out striker. Yes, he can play there at times. He played there last year. He played there in the youth setup. It's obvious that he is not a striker at this level. He does not have the strength. He does not have the wherewithal. He does not have the back-to-goal game to lead a football club like Chelsea. I'm not saying that he won't get there at some point, but it's clear that he will not get there at this point. So young Tyreek comes on, and it throws off and this is no disrespect to Tyreek, like as I mentioned before, it throws off the way we want to play, because obviously we were, like I said before, we were attacking them over the top. Fulham was pushing up high. We know Marco Silva is a very, very good coach. They're a very, very well organized team, very well drilled. And it showed. It showed. They were very, very good in the first half. They were asking questions. They were cutting through our midfield. And once again, Enzo Fernandez has come back from the summer break. And this time you give him a little bit of a leeway because the summer break was very short. But in that 3 weeks or 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks from the Club World Cup final to the first preseason game, Enzo was eating. He was eating because he looks heavy. He looks sluggish. His thought process looks off. And not only was he leaving Caicedo stranded in the midfield defensively, going forward, he was killing attacks. He was playing the ball out of play, misplacing passes, playing passes behind attackers. He was, first half, poor. And the shouts for folks that wanted to wanted him to come off were justifiable, completely justifiable. And I was one of those folks. No watch along today with Jimmy. It was too early. I was too tired. Watching it, coffee in hand, yelling at the screen. You know what it is. East Coast folks, international fans represent. And yeah, and then things changed. Things changed, right? Fulham catch us out of the halfway line, play a pass in behind, but before they play that pass, Fulham player does a little pirouette spin, steps on Chalobah's ankle. They play the pass in behind. Can't be offside because they were in their own half. But still, Tolson, he catches up. He makes the recovery run. He gets back into position. And credit to Josh King. Josh King spins him a little bit, gets the goal, beats him near post. I think it goes between Tolson's legs. Fulham's up 1-0. And on the balance of play, you could say it's somewhat deserved at that time. Neither team was fantastic in that first 20 minutes, but Fulham might have just slightly edged it. But it goes to VAR. And again, rightly so, it is ruled off because accident, intent, be damned. You step on a player's foot like that and you prevent them from the ability for them to make a defensive action, that is a foul. And yes, you could say it's harsh. Yes, you could say it's unfortunate, but the rules are the rules, and it was rightly ruled off. And you could see from there, it sort of unsettled Fulham a little bit. Definitely unsettled Marco Silva. He was a madman on the touchline the whole time. That was the most animated I've ever seen Marco Silva. So shout out to us for rattling him, I guess. But as we started to progress a little bit from that point, we started to get Esteval a little bit more involved. We started to get the ball up to Neto a little bit more. Caicedo and Enzo started to settle down a little bit more. Tolson, once that ball went in, turned into a different animal. Aerial monster today. I mean, the amount, I don't know the stats. Let me know in the comments below, if you know what his aerial stats look like. I haven't looked them up yet, but it seemed like every time Fulham played a long ball over the top, and they played a ton of them. Every time that Fulham sent a ball into the box, and they played a lot of them, Tolson was there, heading it away, marshaling the defense, organizing us. And from that moment on, it was, I thought we had stepped it up a little bit. And yes, we do get a little bit fortunate in the sense that there was a ton of extra time. But again, that extra time was deserved. That extra time was fully deserved because there were huge stoppages. There was about 5-6 minutes for the VAR check because it was a tight one. There was about 3-4 minutes for the Delap injury because he went down, got up, played on a little bit, or walked it for a minute, and then a stoppage came, and then he went down again, and the physios came out and things like that. So miss me with that we scored in additional extra time, so to say. BS. That's bullshit. But we get the header. We get the goal off of another set piece. Ole, ole, ole. João Pedro on fire. Fantastic performance today. Got man of the match, but you could argue, like I said, Tosin was fantastic. Caicedo, second half, fantastic, and things like that. But we go into halftime, 1-0. Of course, the commentators are all, oh, it's not a foul. The game's gone soft. The rules are the rules, folks. That is how the modern game is reffed. If you don't like it, take it up with the PGMOL, take it up with the FA. That's modern football for you. The slightest touch, folks go down. Doesn't matter if you're a center back. Doesn't matter if you're a attacker. It is what it is. So we get the goal in the halftime. Second half, I won't say cruise control, but dominated proceedings. On the front foot, Caicedo locking everything down in midfield. Tosin, fantastic. João Pedro all over the place. Neto more dangerous. Esteval a little bit more dangerous. and we get the second goal. A little contentious again. There was calls for VAR check on the handball, although the proximity of it to João Pedro, never a handball for me. And then they said there was a foot stomp on Iwobi, soft. And then rightly so on Sessegnon. You can't go and you can't jump up and have a deflection like that and say that it's a natural position. Your arm is not naturally like that. He's looking away from it too. Not a natural defending position. We get the goal. João Pedro gifts it to Enzo. Enzo comes away with a Bruno Fernandes type of stat line, a goal and assist with a stinky performance. Although second half he was much better. And then we sort of just shut shop down, get some subs on. Andre Santos, again, fantastic in his cameo. Reece James, solid in his cameo when he comes on. Esteval came off. Again, I thought a little bit early, but still had a fantastic, still had a good performance. Like I said, he could have got a goal, or at least a goal or assist. There was a call for Pedro for a shout. But yeah, 2 points or 3 points. Name of the game. Not all the performances are going to be pretty. Like I've always mentioned before on this channel and various other platforms, you want to be getting better as the course of the season. At this particular point, it's about getting 3 points. We head into international break, and we need the international break because we've got some situations that we need players to heal up with. Cole Palmer's growing, the laps, hamstring. Caicedo needs some rest. Enzo needs some more laps around the track, get fit, some more cycling minutes. He's not going off to Argentina this break. So we get the performance, or we get the points, we get the clean sheet. We move. It wasn't pretty. They're always not going to be pretty. We lose this game last year, if you ask me. This is, or we definitely drop points. Fulham's a tricky fixture for us, our closest London rival. So yeah, I'm going to watch it back later. I'm going to analyze it a little bit more in depth, take the emotion out of it, take the nerves out of it. When you watch it a second time, you definitely take the nerves out of it, and see. But you know what? Like I mentioned before, it's all about the 3 points. We're top of the table, 7 points. Conceded 1 goal all year, and things are looking okay. We definitely needed to reevaluate what we're going to do in the window. But like I mentioned before, we'll leave that to a separate video. But for now, folks, hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. And importantly, let me know in the comments what you all think of thought of the game. Let me know who your man of the match was. Let me know who you thought had good performances, poor performances. Yeah, and we will see you at the next one.